Kris, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Right on. Right on. Thank you for taking time to hang out with us today.
It's a pleasure.
So we're talking about a new Chinook helicopter that you guys have to work on the fires with.
Yes, yeah, we've got the fleet. I think they moved up from Southern California, has moved up to those fires currently working on here.
Excellent. Is this Chinook here or this fleet and whatnot? Is it different from a normal Chinook? And if so, how so?
So this Chinook that we have up there, we have a fleet of three, along with an Intel helicopter. Big difference is we're flying day and night operations, and we carry a 3,000-gallon tank, very similar to what the C-130s and the Boeing 737s operate with our fixed-wing fleet. So we're as effective dropping retardant as we are dropping direct attack on top of the flames.
Wow. Flying at night presents its own set of challenges. How is this Chinook helicopter equipped differently than a traditional one to fight
So
fires?
yeah, so these Chinooks have night vision goggle capability. So we fly in the LA basin. Almost 50% of our flying is done at night. So we're fly as much as during the day as we do during the evening. So we're very capable, and that the crews are very used to flying night operations. And I understand we're going to be flying at night on these fires.
Excellent. Right on. Um, so the pilots to be able to do these drops at night where visibility, so lining up a target, very difficult to see, if not impossible, and just a different set of challenges. Flying for a pilot at night. Do they have specialized training that other pilots may not have to
Yeah,
be
they
able to
they
fly at night?
they, they do, Chris. And in fact, we have what we call an Overwatch helicopter. And in the Overwatch helicopter, it has a thermal imaging camera that fires a laser beam the size of a car. And the pilots in the firebombing aircraft can see the laser coming from the helicopter. And that's how we target where we want the drops to go. And we also are able to cleanse the areas where we're going to be snorkeling from, so we can move around the fire to the various different dip sites. And this Overwatch helicopter can provide not only protection, but intelligence and direction of where we want those helicopters to work.
Wow, that's incredible. How long has this kind of technology been out there? How long have you been able to do stuff like this?
So we started this program in 2017 in Australia.
Oh wow.
We brought it to the United States in 2019 in Orange County. And it was one of those situations where, at that time, Firescope, which operates in the LA basin with all the agencies, you weren't allowed to hoverfill. And hoverfill, it means hovering over a water source at night and filling the helicopter just like the day.
Yeah.
And traditionally at night, back in those days, you had to land a helicopter on land, fill it full of water, and then take off again. So we were able to create a safe standard operating procedure to hover over these water sources during the evening, which increased the productivity of the helicopters to where it became significant impacts on fires. By doing hover filling and getting multiple, instead of getting 2 turns an hour, we're able to get 20 turns an hour.
Wow, because you don't have to go all the way back to base to fill up, and you
That's
can
exact. That's
fill up.
exact. And when you think about a 3,000-gallon tank, that's equivalent to roughly 6 fire trucks. And
Wow.
a fire truck carries about 500 gallons. So when in this case, we've got three Chinooks working those fires. We're dropping roughly 18 fire truck loads every few minutes on that fire to help the ground firefighters.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. So are you guys dropping primarily water or phosgenic or?
Primarily, yeah, and we drop both actually.
Oh,
So depending on what the customer requires, we drop retardant as efficiently as at night than the air tankers do during the day, just because of the tanking systems on the helicopters. So, and that's the evolution of what we're trying to do here in the quick reaction force is evolve the industry from just dropping retardant at during the day to dropping retardant at night, and we do that very, very effectively with these Chinooks.
oh wow. My goodness. Yeah, you're opening up half the day to
We are well, in
yeah.
what we've learned, Kris, is that when you take the heat out of a fire, so you lose the sun, the humidity goes up, that fire lays down, and it's a multiplier of 3 to 4 times more effective at night than we are during the day on that fire. So we cover a lot of ground very quickly on a fire. And now, as the agencies are looking at being a little more proactive with us at night and planning, because traditionally, when you didn't have these air assets at night, you would be, planning the next day for the next day. Now you're planning during the day for the night.
Oh
So we're
wow.
we're actually picking up 12 hours on the fire.
Oh wow. That's tremendous. That is really tremendous. Um, so how many of these, I guess, specially equipped Chinooks are there in California? Just the three or
So
more?
we have three in the quick reaction force, one in LA, one in Orange, and one in Ventura. And then
Okay.
the state of California has number four down in San Diego County. But there are the state of California, Cal Fire, they're running, a fleet of these aircraft at night, and it's evolving with the Blackhawks and some Chinooks.
Okay.
So slowly but surely, the industry is moving towards night operations because of the effectiveness.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, I remember covering fires from a while ago, and just everything comes to a screeching halt at sunset. And boy, but this is
Well, and
tremendous.
during the LA fires, we flew over 50% of the volume on those fires. And one of the things we found, it was so windy during the day, we couldn't fly during the day. So we flew 70% of the volume at night.
Oh wow.
So that was a big, that's another twist in the equation is, during these Santa Ana events, which are very devastating, that, being able to go at night, we're seeing these lulls in the middle of the night where the fleet will go up at 2 o'clock in the morning and work till 7, and then the winds come up again, and then we're grounded for the day.
Is smoke a hindering force for you guys
It
then?
is. I think, and yeah, for not only the air but the ground as well. I mean, smoke is that's something that you don't want to tackle for sure. Yeah.
All right. So then the smoke plume has got to be a bit less or hugging the ground and whatnot at night. So that also, I would imagine, helps you guys out being able to attack at night with the smoke being less for the copter pilots.
Yeah, and usually we can work around the fire, so it's not, depending on the size of the fire, there always seems to be an area that we're able to move and get on a flank and sort of knock it down and or get a line in for the ground for the morning.
All right. Wow. Wow. This is great for our show and great for me personally. Just learning more about the technology in the business. This is tremendous.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think one of the things we're highly sensitive these days is of course the fires are getting hotter,
Mhm.
and we're seeing that more devastation, and of course the other costs associated with fire along health and environment, and we're seeing the lines starting to meet now where a lot more profile is on just the what it costs after the fire's out and what more we can do to prevent the fire. And certainly, what we've learned in the LA basin, and we've got over 300 fires under our belt now, day and night. And if we have a water source close to us, we're going to catch that fire in the first hour. So, as we're kind of continuing to measure our performance and monitor the success, we're seeing that having 8,000-gallon water sources around the urban interface increases our success significantly.
Hmm.
And when we're starting to challenge the down the road costs, I think the impact is significant, and we're starting to see that. At least we're starting to measure it. So we're having some great success on killing fire early and getting to the fires and knocking them out.
That's awesome. Is saltwater? Saltwater is not something you can really use.
We
No.
can. So, but on LA, so like the Malibu fires, there's all kinds of water sources very close to the highway. So if we had to go in the water, in the salt water, we would in a heartbeat. But there seems to be so many close water sources around the county for us that we're able to access. We have
Mm.
really good coverage in the county. Where we don't have good coverage is in the city boundaries. That's a big challenge. Is
Mm.
we just don't have the water for the Chinooks in the some part of the land base, and that was some of the challenges that we had in those LA City fires.
Mm. Okay. Just an aside, the quick reaction force is still relatively newish, five
It
years or
is. I think
so.
we're yeah. What did we got going in about 2020? So we're about 5 years old now.
How, how is that all going?
It's been absolutely outstanding. And one of the things, Chris, up until November of 2024, we hadn't lost one structure in LA. And we we
Wow.
we thought we had, and we ran through a bunch of Santa Ana events, and what happened is when we get task saturated, so any fire QRF is on, we catch. But if there's fires going on around us, they get out from under us. And during that the LA City blast in early January, there were 78 fires. And people haven't all we heard about was, we heard about Eaton, we heard about Palisades. There
Yeah.
were 78 fires. So we were jumping our butts around, jumping on this one, jumping on them. There's all kinds of firebugs out there. And the one fire we did catch, which was Sunset Fire, fire prediction within 8 hours was 950 homes and 4,400 people, and we caught that. We
Wow.
didn't we didn't lose one structure. We had Hollywood Reserve water reservoir to snorkel out of, and we were doing a turn every 2 minutes.
Wow.
And we caught that fire, and that was again, Palisades is roaring, Eaton's, there's no freaking resources anywhere. So if we didn't have the heavy lift and we didn't have the water source close, there would have been another 1,000 homes gone up and potential lives in that Hollywood Hills area. So that was one that we're standing up that fire and going, hey, look, here it is in black and white. What you can do if we got water for these big helicopters.
Wow. Outstanding. Yeah, I remember there were a bunch of fires burning, starting like west of Studio City on
Yep.
101
Yep.
nearby that afternoon. And yeah. Um, wow. Um, just to a general layperson, what is the quick reaction force? How does it differ
So
from everything
so
else?
So the quick reaction force is three of the largest helicopters in the world, set up with an Intel helicopter with 3,000-gallon tanking systems. And as we talked about, the size of the tank is equivalent to 6 fire trucks. So every load that we drop is like 6 fire trucks on that fire. And when we look at what we did, we flew roughly 80 fire truck loads on the Sunset Fire in 2 hours. That saved 1,000 homes.
Wow. Wow.
That's the sort of power that the quick reaction force has when you put these Chinooks together. We
Wow.
can really go to work and knock that fire out. And and the magic is 24 hours a day. And people just don't realize we're out day and night on those aircraft. We're at the end of every 911 call to do with a fire. The heads are spinning and we're ready to go. And that's why we had so much success with QRF.
If if you could drop 80 fire truck loads in a couple of hours or so, if there was no air attack at all and it was just the ground forces, roughly, and they put everything they had on it, could you wager a guess as to how much they could do just with the ground alone?
Well, I think, Chris, I think we have to look at it a little bit different.
Okay.
Because the air attack becomes the first line of defense to the ground firefighter. Our job is to protect the firefighter. Then our next job is to protect the people and then the community that live within on the ground. So our job is to knock that down to get them in there. And so I think in that case, you wouldn't put anyone in front of that fire. It
Mm,
in it would be dangerous. And you
okay.
didn't have any fire trucks or people anyway because you were task saturated. So the Air Force becomes the first line of defense on a bad day, on a bad fire day, where you're task saturated. It's all air, it's knocking that fire down and getting the brave men and women in underneath you to get that line around that fire.
Okay.
So I hope that helps.
That does. That does actually. Um, Very good. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, you're great. You asked a lot of yeah, you asked a lot of excellent questions there.
Thank you. Thank you. You made it very easy for anybody to understand.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres of Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.